Hi everyone, welcome back to my doll room. I'm just here chilling with my dolls, and I want to start off my 17-inch limited edition doll collection videos with the one that started it all. And yes, I do have that doll, and this doll, yes, is Snow White. It is a Snow White doll out of many Snow Whites that I have. And no, this isn't her. This is a classic doll from the Disney store for Snow White that was released many moons ago, but she seems to be my favorite so far that I own in this line, but I think she just wanted to hang around for this video. So the original 17-inch limited edition doll released by the Disney store came out in 2009, whenever Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs celebrated its release on Blu-ray. So in 2009, Blu-ray was kind of a big thing, and now it's really not. Now it's like streaming, or there's even 4K Blu-rays, but back in 2009 it was a pretty big deal for Snow White to go to Blu-ray. I actually have this Blu-ray and I really like it because it has a lot of bonus features on it. So if you own that copy, you know what I'm talking about. But this Snow White doll was released for that Blu-ray release in 2009. As you can see, this is her here. Got a little bit of a glare there, but this is her. So she was released from the Disney store in 2009, and whenever she was released, she was a pre-order, so that means that one day you walked into the Disney store, saw that she was advertised, and you would be given a card. Then you would go probably back to the Disney store sometime later and pick up the doll. So I wasn't able to do that in 2009. I wasn't collecting then. I was in middle school, and I couldn't buy dolls like this that are expensive then. So I had to wait until I grew up some, and I was able to get her on eBay years later for a bigger price. So I got her in 2016. So sometime after 2009, so she came from someone else's home, and I got a good price for her, and now since there's so many different Snow White dolls now, it seems like the rage for this one has dropped as there's so many to choose from. But she's the one that started them all. She used to be very, very expensive. I don't know what current retail prices are on eBay, but I'd say it's more than what she cost in 2009. So here she is. There's just a little bit of the backstory, and how about we take a closer look at her in all of her beauty. Here is Snow White's box up close. It's white with like a filigree embossing on it. It's really hard to see there, but I think in person you could see it better. She is framed in the magic mirror that is inside the Queen's castle. The mirror that she curses Snow White on, and Snow White's framed in this. This has the very old Disney store logo, and 6+ and a little tiara, representing Snow White as the Disney princess. Down at the bottom, it says Snow White 17-inch doll, limited edition, one of 5,000, with 2 bluebird friends from the forest. She's actually holding one of these. Her face is the original 17-inch doll face sculpt. And they actually used this face sculpt on an Alice doll just a few years later. I actually have that doll, I can show you later. But basically they took this face sculpt and they used different paint and blonde hair and made it Alice. But here it was Snow White first. She has brown eyes, lips red as the rose, hair black as ebony, and skin white as snow. Hence her name. This is probably one of the palest Snow White dolls of the entire Disney store lines. The newer ones are pale, but probably not as pale as she is. So I think that she's probably the palest of them all. In her hair, she has a red glittery bow that I think is probably held in by tacks and who knows what. But it's been on there since 2009. And of course, that's a part of her original look. And her lashes are rooted, and they're very long, as you can see there. She seems to have her original and famous color choices, you know, the red, the blue, the yellow, but they've really amped it up here. Her collar is very royal. It's almost Shakespearean or Elizabethan, very Queen Elizabeth I, like these huge grand collars. You know, it's almost like Snow White is a queen here. But, you know, this is celebrating her movie, so I think it works beautifully. She has a long cape that actually can be draped behind her, and this cape has been posed this way since 2009, never before opened. So I wonder if there's some dust bunnies or who knows what, but it will never be unopened as long as I have this doll. So she has her puffy sleeves, it has a little lacing there, little yellow beads kind of adorn everything. I mean, it's just beautiful. The craftsmanship here. That looks like a velvet material, that royal blue, and she has a red gem in the middle of her chest. She's wearing a necklace that has like a red ruby on the end, and it looks kind of like a heart. So I'm not sure if that represents where the queen was going to steal her heart. Put it in a box. Pretty terrifying to be threatened by your stepmother. And this yellow portion of her skirt, which goes all the way down, has filigree, kind of lacy leaves, flowers, kind of forest things embroidered in the gown, in the fabric. It's just really pretty. In one hand, she has a bluebird, and in the other hand, she has the cursed apple. But this is probably not the apple, as it, you know, doesn't have a bite taken out of it, but it's glittery and pretty nonetheless. I think that she is posed perfectly, but I have seen some people take her cape off of its tackings that's holding it in there, down there in that corner, and displayed this differently, which is fine, but to me, I like it to stay this way. And she is in the forest, with her castle in the background. So the side of the box is the same on both sides and has this floral pretty pattern. If you were to open it, it would repeat this throughout the whole kind of plastic inner casing of her, but you can see her there and you can see through to the other side. This is the back of her box, and it has a commentary about the doll. And this is an interesting detail that no other limited edition doll has. She has a sticker here holding the box together. And as you can see, mine has never been touched. It's actually a little dingy, you know, because it's never been opened. But yes, this doll seals. The other dolls don't have a seal there, so you can open them. So I thought that was interesting. So here there's a commentary about the doll. It says Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs and has this quote from the movie. And it talks about the doll, and if you'd like to read this, just pause. But basically sums up kind of everything I showed you there. But I think it's beautiful. Of course, it says Certificate of Authenticity and Display Stand included. So she is on a stand inside of the box, standing up. And in the bottom of her box, there's a slip of paper, a card that says what number she is. I don't know what number this doll is because I've never opened it. But if you wanted to, that's possible. It says Disney Store, has all of these things, some addresses, and here's her original price tag. Isn't this interesting? That in 2009 this doll was $99.50, and the latest limited edition doll that has came out is Tinkerbell, and she was $150, $149 I think. So inflation has hit the dolls. So here is where Snow White is located on my shelf. And she's here with her Snow White family, which is a lot of other Snow White dolls, including the villains up there. So I thought I'd just like to show you that. And plenty of other dolls to review. Alright everyone, so that concludes my Snow White doll review. And Mini Snow survived the whole review here, and I think she's happy. So I think that next time I'll take some more looks at my other Snow White dolls, which you've seen briefly earlier, including the D23 Snow White, the Rag Snow White, the Prince, the Sax Snow White, and of course Snow White's villains. I have a lot of the Art of Snow White items as well, so I think I'll show those maybe with the Snow White doll reviews. But anywho, thank you guys for watching. Stay tuned for more and check out my links to my profiles in the information section, and hope you all have a magical day. Okay, bye.